probiotics use the probiotics in the yogurt asachal ki medile gutla energy work neutralize nutrition work gut that's the real food stuff which the bacteria use to kala chimka das pata cottage cheese jodu you must have heard the name cottage cheese. Cottage cheese, what is cottage cheese milk kala kharab shi aga bacterial ya fungal process the aga sachalu shi chikala muda mast ka geo ki warwacho all convert to curd type material. Curd, sushi cheesy material. Cheese is the byproduct. Byproduct in the sense she दूध को फाड़ना, which दूध हटाओ शी बहुत खराब शुगर है. Have खराब product in terms of the cheese it is delicious and it is very beneficial for your health and for the children as well. No, which all bacteria are not diseaseful. Some are beneficial in the sense they can be used in food, they can be used in antibiotics. They can be used to decompose organic waste. That decomposed organic waste we are in turn use ki is the fertilizers processes. The other is produce industrial chemicals such as ethyl alcohol and acetones. Different chemical products are made with these things. Produce fermented food such as vinegar, cheese and bread. The same thing is there. No history of microorganisms. The history tells us discovering of microorganism. Discovery that. So what is microorganism? It was observed in 1673. 16th century. 1673 ke our microbes microorganisms discovered. They were discovered by Robert Hooke. And it is reported that living things were composed of little boxes of cells and they can be seen or the devices used are microscope and illumination system. Illumination means light system. The light system by the simple microscopes they invented. Antony van Leeuwen, he is considered the father of bacteriology. He was the first to discover bacteria. Microorganisms include a hub of things like fungi and microorganisms and bacteria and stuff. But Antony van Leeuwen worked to find bacteria. Made simple microscope and began observing with them. In 1674, discovered bacteria, he called them animalcules. It was one of the first people to observe microorganisms using microscope of his own design and made one of the most important contributions to biology. And this book is Hooke's 1665 book, which is known as Micrographia. It's not much to be seen. Now, coming to slide number 8, you can see the simple microscope. Okay, he observed and described microscopic protozoa and bacteria through this simple microscopic system. This microscope system included eyepiece, a barrel just like wheat barrels in the sourcing and each of the barrel. Then is the focusing screw. There were screws to focus this lens. Then there was objective, and then we had different oil lamps and plus procedures for the illumination process. Now, adding to the history of microbiology is spontaneous generation and biogenesis. What is spontaneous generation? Aristotle is the scientist who synthesized the hypothesis which stated that some vital forces contained in given organic matter can create living organisms from inanimate objects. Hypothesis means idea which included that some vital forces, classic forces which are contained in given organic matter can create living organisms from inanimate objects. Maybe the living organisms are inanimate objects. Inanimate means like a proper animals or organisms. Spontaneous generation was discovered or disproved by scientists that Francisco and John. Now the biogenesis is in 1858. German scientist Rudolf Virchow challenged spontaneous generation with his concept of biogenesis. Living organisms arise from pre-existing life. The first hypothesis was inanimate objects means non-living objects helps in the creation of organic. Thus, living but the non-living पैदा की. Yeah, second hypothesis the second hypothesis was your living the living the arise की. Thus, the non-living the living जोड़ right? Yeah, which is settlement of spontaneous generation पैदा शुरू. In 1861, Louis Pasteur, the father of medical microbiology, demonstrated where microorganisms came from. This person was the very beneficial person to work on microorganisms and microbiology. Louis Pasteur also put it to by pasteurization of the answer. The Louis Pasteur adapted. Which he demonstrated the microorganisms exist in the air and contaminate sterile solution by passing air through cotton filters. The filter trapped tiny particles floating in the air. Wait, the day description like a settlement should be which the tiny microorganisms that do not minute is left like a Hawaki. The day Hawaki is left like a process should which filter trap tiny particles floating due to different filters all over tiny particles D the capture.
لا بس شنو بس سيف
the your procedure. Louis Pasteur procedure the recording start.
Start.
Which 1822 to 1895. In this era, he worked on finding by exposing boiled broths to the air in vessels that contain a filter of prevent all particles from passing through to the growth medium. Which these are boiled broths. Shobagana would be boiled to the air in vessels. Vessels exposed through to the growth medium. He also did this in vessels with no filters. So the filters are tiny particles run so with filters. With filter prevents you from the dust particle from coming inside. And without filters, microorganisms run the process is super. Now he came to know boiled broths, yes, no, the air contains tiny particles in the form of microbes, microorganisms. At least you have a process foolish. Or the air filters microorganisms just to prove that microorganisms float we cannot see them with naked eyes, but there are these particles which can cause microbes to work on boiled broths and stuff. This was his discovery. You can see the picture in the next slide. The swan neck flask experiment. The different type of broths with filter and without filters. Like I explained. Then there is a brief histology, but that is not most important because the rule I already explained it. Yeah, 1906 Kosh explained ancient Greeks ancient Greeks the microbiology proposed for melasma theory. We are different. We are further learned 1665 Hooke observed cord cells under microscope. When he observed single cells called microorganisms, Snow demonstrated cholera, bacteria. Different scientists explored different microorganisms. And Pasteur, the cellular spoilage of Francisco began with early version of germ cell theory. Then the other explained washing reduces infection. Washing infection reduced. And the last question, generation of swan neck flask experiments. Lister, they disinfectant introduced from Lister today. Now the progress went on till 1906. Koch and his workers determined causative agents for many bacterial infections. The deer medicines or the deer surgical were introduced soon after 1906. Organisms come diseases cause pain. According to the infection and according to the bacteria, medicines create microorganisms soon reduced. Still there are more to be discovered. So it's the tool dunya ka dhaka the microorganisms like the lecture series and like everybody knows the tool harmful nadi. That is why we are still alive. Because there is some parcel breathing. There are vast types of providers who let us from the protection as the protection without season full protection. How? The only filters who they pack the natural. مخکې دی وایي چې ماسک اچوئ ماسک داسې ځای کې اچوئ چې کوم ځای کې ستاسو پولیوټډ وي چې کوم ځای فرش ایر دی فرش ځایونه دي هغه ځای کې تاسو هوا نه اچوئ نو زیات بینیفیشل دی ولې چې ډېر مایکروبس تاسو انهیل کوئ د هوا نه هغه هم تاسو لپاره بینیفیشل دي ښه امونیټي ورسز سټرونګ کېږي ډفرنټ فیکټرز انکلوډ دي که نه بیا وایي چې ګولډن ایج کې جرم سیل تھیوري ده هغې کې بیا دا دی چې مایکرو ارګانیزمز آر د کاز اف سپیسیفک ډیزیزز all of them which not specific in that theory it was defined by Pasteur. Pasteur so which he showed that microorganisms are responsible for fermentation. Microbial growth is also responsible for spoilage of food. Now fermentation starts pakari deep she pura baking him the aksar ferment to wheat agar che ferment to make the pizza zoda se judi Leaves kita spoil गई fungi पे लगी होता बैक्टीरिया पर खपल गंद जूड़ की अगम को क्या पड़ी fruits हम खराब शी wheat हम खराब शी everything हाँ no Pasteur demonstrated that spoilage bacteria could be killed with heat एक वे pasteurization heat process थी जे खराब गर्म कोखी को नए बैक्टीरिया डी रमड़शी harmful bacteria ज़्यादा चिकनी heat सरमड़शी Weak forms of diseases could be used as immunization against stronger forms, and that rabies was transmitted by viruses as well. Now, rabies in this case, rabies yoda se dagati germs di yoga chali dagati. There are different vaccines developed for anthrax disease and rabies the para in 1885. Up to 1885, the big lot of diseases of sar dagajuj. Now, germs are the root of diseases. We are different. We are that proves us the historical view. Dikshu, are you getting me? Any difficulty? In 1835, Agostino showed a silkworm disease. Again, which fungus जुड़े silkworm disease जुड़े. Pasteur thought that silkworm disease was caused by protozoan. अगल अगल जड़ मालूम हो जो protozoan silkworm disease जुड़े. Ignis advocated hand washing to prevent transmission of fever. Germ cell theory of diseases further explains in 1860s Joseph, the father of antiseptic surgeries, introduced Robert Koch provided proof that bacterium causes anthrax and provided the experimental steps or the tool experimental steps specific microbes causing bacteria are introduced which the microbes specified for specific diseases. The same thing is explained in these. Now vaccination was introduced by Edward Jenner and smallpox vaccine especially was introduced for the very first introduction by Edward Jenner. Fox wisdom suggested that dairy maids who had contracted cowpox seems to be immune to smallpox. Which other maids या dairy products or dairy farming associated they can develop smallpox. Infection with the cowpox virus produced a much less severe form of disease than smallpox. Which smallpox less disease will be cowpox such less disease will be. Now the discovery of antibiotics. The very important discovery was antibiotic introduction to our lives. It was done in 1928 by Alexander Fleming, who discovered the first antibiotics into our lives. He observed that penicillium fungus made an antibiotic penicillin that killed S. aureus. Streptococcus aureus disease which comes from the bacterial discovery penicillin used killing the product. 1940s penicillin was tested clinically and mass production was available towards the end of the world. There is medicines used to make penicillin antibiotics till now. Now the other is Eddie Mezenkoff, who described how leukocyte ingest diseases producing bacteria which body leukocytes the microorganisms ingest ki defense provide which part of scientists help the body itself can help us protect by the use of these leukocytes to ingest bacteria called as phagocytes, and the process is known as phagocytosis. Right? They process the way phagocytosis means the engulfing or eating of the bacterial products. He suggested that the body is the first and most important line of defense against infection. Electron microscopes were introduced in 1960 and 1950 with the development of vaccines, and the first microscope was introduced in 1940 and it was perfected later on. Thank you. This is all about the history. The electron microscope